him.
Am I able to be heard?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Glad you could come tonight here in Greenville. And hello, everyone online in Columbia and wherever else you are, maybe in the world. Thanks for seeing everybody. Tonight in South Carolina Linux Users Groups, this is, November 11th. Thank you to all the veterans that are online. Thank you for coming to tonight and for your service. I personally appreciate you. Anyway, so tonight we've got just a couple little things. We didn't really have a big plan, but we've got Bill tonight to talk about Tmux, and then I'm just going to show a little bit of mask, which I tried to show last month but had difficulty with. So this is trial number 2. Unless Tmux takes the whole thing, which would be fine.
If there's a lot of questions, it could, but
yeah.
No, I don't do enough Tmux to take up that much space, I think.
So I'll let you take it over, Bill. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Okay, yeah. So I had been ranting to Jace about how a lot of times we have the tendency to want to use tools, and like Vim, for example, you'll want to jump in like, well, I need to know 45,000 commands in order to use Vim properly. And Tmux is a tool that I think gets a reputation like that sometimes, but I use it for specific niche cases, and I just jumped in with 4 or 5 commands available for it, and then now I've got a custom Tmux conf and all this other crap in order to make it do a bunch of things for me. So I figured I could probably give a rundown on how I go about using it and how to use Tmux in general and what it does. So the first caveat is I remapped the main leader. I think they call it the prefix in Tmux. I'm used to calling it the leader key, but it's Control B in Tmux by default. And I use screen often because I'm logging into old ass computers that have only screen available in order to get multiple windows. So because screen is almost all the same stuff that Tmux does, except it's Control A, mine's mapped to Control A. Try to remember to say prefix every time when I say that I'm doing something, but just know that if I say Control A whatever, the default is Control B whatever. However, you should also switch yours to Control A. Join the crowd. So yeah, let's just jump right into Tmux. So Tmux to start with, you could do a very useless Tmux help, and it tells you a bunch of crap here, or it tries to tell you a bunch of information about it, but it is a terminal multiplexer. I'll just jump right into my Tmux. The quick overview of it is largely that an individual section that you're seeing now is called a window, and there are multiple panes in a window, and you can make new panes inside this window and do different things inside those. You have multiple windows in here, and I would say the kill app is one. If you're addicted to tabs in your browser, this is tabs in your terminal client. It is a user space application as opposed to a feature of the terminal emulator. So iTerm, I'm using iTerm because I'm on a Mac right now, but iTerm has the ability to do individual panes or whatever for the iTerm handles. I don't want iTerm to handle it. I want a persistent session state that is usable in Linux, in Mac, or in Windows. And so that's the pitch for using Tmux. So actually, let's try. I think I could probably show a good example of that. Maybe if I have this, yeah, here we go. Let's see if I can get in through my jump box. Okay, so this is not my machine anymore. This is, I'm inside my dev box back at my house through my jump server. And this is my continuous session that's just at any time I have my bash RC set up so that when I log into one of my sessions, I immediately start Tmux if it's not already started. And if it is started, I connect to what I know is, I always set it to call it the default session. And so this is the default session in this area. It does create a couple of oddities if you handle this. So if you're logging into a lot of servers, this is a really useful thing to be able to have, so that you always have this session. If I get disconnected, I don't have to come back in and move a bunch of things around. Tmux is running a server that has this session available for me. And like, I don't even know when I had attached this last. Like, it looks like I'm doing some APC UPS work on here. And so that must have been like months ago at this time. But it's just been running the whole time and available for me to like reattach to. Downside of that is it can be, one of the things I need to do is like start color coding which server I'm on. Like this just, it's not obvious to me that I'm on this server right now, so that's kind of annoying. And if I want to log off, I either have to use the magic SSH command ~. In order to force the session to close, or I have to like detach from Tmux and then say exit to get out of here. So that's just the quick overview, and now I'll go through some of the actual useful stuff here. So let's do, so for Tmux, you're going to need individual sessions first. So you can do Tmux ls, and that'll tell you what sessions exist. The one that you saw me in earlier was my default session that I start up by default. So we'll do a new session, and I believe it is new, and I believe do -s for a session. We'll call it UC-lug. And this starts up a new session. All of this stuff at the bottom is some custom profile things that I put together on here. This isn't normal, but it doesn't look too much off from this when you start. Like I've got a bunch of like fancy fonts and stuff on this, and some like information that I want of how my machine's running. And by default, it'll try to call this first session. It'll usually start at 0. And yet again, another thing that I have is if I want to switch between screens, I don't want to have to hit leader and then 0, which is all the way over here on my keyboard. So I want 1, 2, 3, 4 to be across the bottom. So I started at 1. But so we can start Control A, sorry, leader, prefix, and C is to create a new window. So we make a bunch of new windows. Prefix and comma is to rename it. So this is my, I always like to keep a monitor window.
You said prefix, comma?
Prefix and comma, yeah, is to rename a window. You can switch between them either by calling them by number. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can hit prefix 2, and it'll go to session 2 or window 2. This is, we'll call this one default. And then the most important thing for me is not only being able to do that, but it's the individual panes in the window. So I believe the default is that the panes are done by the double quote and the %sign, but I can never remember which one's which. So I remapped them to pipe and dash. So for me, dash makes a horizontal window and pipe makes a vertical window. And I do frequently forget that pipe requires a shift and dash doesn't, but I could remap it so all combinations of those work. That probably would be a better one.
So it'd be great if you had plus to do a double, a double thing.
Yeah. And then this is the more regular way of going about and using Tmux, is having like a lot of different windows open for things. Let me do like a different thing in each one. Let's do PWP, so that you can actually see like what's happening. So
and how are you switching between them?
So
You're moving.
I am just moving my mouse because I have mouse mode turned on. But I have the default is you can hit leader and the arrow keys and move around. I don't like that, so I have it set to leader and the Vim keys for each of these to move around. And you can remap all of that as well. This is one of the things of like that I was ranting to Jace about is, like I have a tendency to just use these from like a real practical standpoint, and I'm okay touching my mouse once in a while just to like move to another pane. You have to turn mouse mode on in the conf in order to actually make that work. And you probably shouldn't get too used to it, because if you're in like an actual server like on the console, you probably don't have a mouse for it. But how often does that happen? There is, yeah.
Always.
There's a couple of fun shortcuts for like aligning all of these. The one that I use pretty often is leader, prefix, and space. Prefix space just goes through a bunch of common ways of setting this up. That's kind of useful if you're just like looking for something. And
that doesn't matter. I mean, in this case,
I don't know how I want it to look.
Yeah, you're like, give me one of them.
Options.
Yeah, give me one.
So in this particular case, you've got 4 panes.
I have 4 panes in this window. Yeah.
So, but if you were to toggle through them with 3 panes or 5
Yeah.
panes, it would look.
You could just keep doing. I can just keep making all of these separate, and you can just.
Okay.
It'll just try
Yeah.
to sort them all together.
Okay.
There is commands to move them around, but they're annoying enough that I recommend you just do something else. Like just figure out like I want this one to be
Is it
slightly
pulling
bigger.
those from a list that you could configure? Like I say, I want to cycle through these.
it's
Like oh, you've
probably-
got some configuration for
Yeah, maybe
your information at the bottom and the color code.
I've never looked into it. The other one is the mouse. Once you have mouse mode turned on, you can just like actually move
Drag it
these
around.
things yourself, dragging them around. There is technically a way to close one of these panes. So you close a window by doing prefix ampersand, but I never do that. And you close a pane by doing prefix X, and I never do that either because you can just use the Unix standard to shut something down of Control D. And so I just use Control D to shut down a given window.
Now, can you close a pane or a window, but everything is still running behind it, and you have to reconnect and open it back
If
up?
you close a pane or a window, whatever was running there shuts down, unless
It
you
does shut
like
it down.
pushed it to the
Okay.
background. Yeah, but you can detach from this entirely, and like, I mean, the one that
And
you'll
get a whole
see,
new
Yeah.
Tmux session.
you can run like htop, and then I can detach from this, which is prefix D to detach, and we can do Tmux ls. We see that UC-lug is running, and you can do Tmux attach. If you just do A, it'll, for me, it goes to default, and I believe that it's just the first one that was in the list. But if you want to name which one you want to go to, it's -T, which is annoying because -S is what opened up the session. UC-lug, and you come back, and whatever you were doing is still running.
Question.
Yeah.
So I use Linux Mint, and my terminal emulator is a thing called Quake.
Is that the one that like comes down from the
Yeah.
top? Yeah,
I got Yaquake on. I can't
Yeah.
even get.
Yeah. I've used that on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Quake is better. By the way.
Looks because KDE.
I
We
can't.
need the
I
mic.
can't resize it. But anyways,
You don't have mic.
I always you can make tabs there,
Mhm.
and I would love to keep like an SSH session going, but after some time you just type in it and you can't. It's like it's dead.
Yeah,
So I don't know if Tmux can help with keeping it alive.
Not really. So
Okay.
you can, Tmux will help with like if Quake dies on you and you load it back up, you can just reattach to the session you were in. Sometimes SSH just drops off. If you're running Tmux on the thing you're SSH'd into, whatever your terminal was will be exactly what you had when you come back in. But yeah, like it won't hold open the SSH session for you though.
I need to find a way to do it.
There's an
There's stuff that
SSH
does it.
config that sends, I think it's like a heartbeat thing where
Yeah.
it'll send some data occasionally, and that will make it more likely to stay open. It's not necessarily guaranteed to stay open because obviously you just lose a connection
Yeah.
remotely, but a lot of times SSH quits because like something timed out, and so by having that
okay.
heartbeat going, keeps it open.
I will say also like Tmux Screen is old. Tmux is also kind of old. It's not quite as old as Screen. There's a newer one, Mosh, that people use that's like a fancier, newfangled Tmux, but it wasn't invented until I was already using Tmux, and so I just stick with Tmux.
Is it called Mosh, you said?
Mosh is the one that. Yeah.
Now, what's the advantage of Tmux over Screen? Like if
Oh,
I've been
it's
using
just
Screen
I can give you a quick like Screen. The main advantages are just like all this extra stuff that I'm doing here. So like individual windows are possible, and you can split screens, but like getting in between tabs and anything mouse related is just a no-go for Screen. Screen is also is usable as like a server, much like Tmux is. Like so, it's like it starts up like a daemon in the background that you are attached to see what's going on, and so it's a good way of doing like a no-hop on like a given operation that you're doing. But yeah, otherwise it's just a much more limited selection of things that you can actually do.
So I use Screen for the same reason I use Phi. It's always there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Oh, it's not. What I recently realized is it's not always there, so that was a bit of an annoyance as well.
So Screen or terminal, the one that is a serial monitor?
Serial monitor?
Yeah.
A console?
Yeah.
Like a serial monitor? Yeah.
Console.
Yeah, so iTerm is like an emulator of a console. That's the terminal. And then Screen or Tmux is, I would say that it's a user, what would you call that? That's the the shell effectively. Like that's at shell level.
Yes, I remember it's own thing. It's like a when you're monitoring like output embedded circuits on a board.
Hmm?
Right?
Yeah, that's a console. Yeah. So like a terminal emulator.
Yeah, I thought Tmux could do that, or and Screen could.
I was about. That's actually one of my questions because
Probably. I've only ever done that with Screen. I've never used Tmux to try to do that, so it's very
I
possible.
think it might be Screen.
Yeah. I have done that with Screen. Screen can do that. Yes.
but Tmux cannot.
I haven't tried.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mostly use it. I mean, I was going to show you. Like, I mean, look how many tabs I have open, and this is how many windows I have open with all these tabs open. So I'm obviously addicted to tabs and like having. I use it for context switching. So like I work with a bunch of different clients at work, and so I'm like, okay, let me move over to client A's work, which has all of my terminal, which I wouldn't have the problem of if I didn't work in the terminal so much. What was the other one? Oh, so other common things that you might want to do that are useful is taking a window and breaking it out, taking a pane and breaking it out into a window. So I'll be like running along here and realize at some point, like, oh, I'm actually kind of in the wrong one. Like I don't want this to be in my client's workspace. I want to like come out to this other one. That is prefix exclamation point, and that opens up a pane into its own new window.
The existing pane that you're
The
in
existing pane that you run that command from becomes a
becomes a
new
window.
window.
Okay.
So are those three panes right there?
This is three panes. Yeah.
And then the window is what's the window?
The window is all three panes. This is window number 2. This is window
Oh.
number 1. Window
Okay.
number 3.
And then across the bottom
No.
is the sessions. No.
Oh no, the session is this whole thing.
The whole
So if I
thing.
detach and I do Tmux list, then I see the sessions.
Okay. It
And
has
so I've got
5
two
windows.
sessions
So the
open.
session windows.
Yeah, with windows and then panes inside that, which you generally don't need to know other than when you go to like Google how to do a thing in here, it's definitely going to be, you need to be able to say like, I'm trying to make a pane turn into a window, or I want to swap 2 panes. Where's some other, there's a handful of other ones that I've done that are just oddities perhaps that are specific to like my use case. So I frequently will, instead of just buckling down and setting up Ansible on all of my systems, I instead will make 8 panes and log into all of the individual systems and then try to do apt update on each one. And so I have a shortcut to do that for me. I have it set as prefix E. And if I type prefix E, then whatever I type goes into everything.
I can just stand in
And
the
then
door.
I prefix E to get out.
Oh,
That's where the multiplexer comes.
Yeah, so that's like one of the first things where I was like, yeah, I need a thing that does this so that I can just apt update, install everything.
is each pane its own session?
Effectively, like from a process standpoint, each one is its own process.
It's their own
capabilities.
process,
Yeah, yeah, its own shell. Yeah, so actually, if we went to HTOP, I'm running like a shitload of shells right now. That's some right here. They take up so little. It's
And
not
what
gonna
if
matter.
your Tmux process dies? Then do you lose everything?
If the daemon dies, all of this would go away. So that's another one that's useful. Let's actually look at my Tmux conf.
Like what if I restart the computer?
Oh, here we go. If you restart the computer, yeah, it goes
Are
away.
all the windows like you gotta redo them again?
So yes, normally, except Tmux has plugins. That is one of the reasons that people use it over screen. They have a plugin manager called TPM, and I'm not really big on plugins. The only ones I found useful are Tmux Resurrect, which allows you to do prefix Control S to prefix Control R to reload a given set of all of your session. It won't save a handful of operations like dmessage and htop and a couple of those things that are like at the Linux level are like continuous running processes that have to be exited out of. It'll restart those. It'll like bring them back up again. But just about everything else that you do is not brought back up again. So like if I kill this session, let's just kill both my sessions. One of the things I do not have a shortcut for killing session. That's not common. Oh, and actually what I should tell you is what I'm actually doing here. You can, much like Vim, you can do the prefix and colon, and you get into a command line, and then it's actually kill session, but like Vim, you only have to go as far as uniqueness brings you, which is kill ses, and that'll kill it.
Did that just kill the entire Tmux?
That killed just that session, so default is still open, so we're going to kill that one too. So because there's only one, I can just do Tmux A for attach, and kill session. But oh, probably, yeah. We do Tmux list, we have nothing, and we just exit and open back up iTerm. And I have it set up so that on opening up iTerm, it loads up Tmux, and then Tmux resurrect usually brings it back all up, but apparently didn't in this case, but that's good because I can show restoring. Oh, it's because I brought up the one that I had just done. That was the UC log that had like nothing on it. Tmux continuum, which I currently have disabled, saves sessions continuously, or at least it didn't grab it early enough. So we do, let's make a gap in this. Do that, and we'll save, and then we'll kill the session.
I don't know. I like it better. You can also make a command. If you don't want to use plugins, you can just make a bash script.
You can also make a bash script. Oh, now of course it brought up the whole thing. Yeah, so it like brings back up the way that I had this put together, and my tail and my H-top on my monitor screen are the only ones that actually come back up. One other very useful thing that is not really obvious when you first start using it is as long as you stay within a window and don't navigate away from the window, you can move around panes, and the history of pressing up and down, if you've got that enabled in Bash, your history is unique to that individual pane. And when you move away from it to another window, then you go back to the normal history. And when you come back, it's the normal history. So like if I do like ls here and
Isn't that like the NAR file? The history.
Yeah. So this one sees
But are you saying
ls
that
as
each-
the last command. Yeah, they're unique to each pane. This one sees only the ls that I typed and doesn't see the l that I typed over here. This one only sees l. Oh, it does see ls. And then this one sees ls-la and l and ls. So they have like limited amount. And if I switch, I can do prefix a n to go to next and prefix a p to go to previous. And I believe now it will, no, now it goes to exit. Yeah, that's a weird behavior.
It's not just vicious behavior. Like theoretically, you could write this shell.
You 100% could. It's,
Yeah.
I find it of limited use. Like sometimes I'll be working on something over here and then I'm context switching to another window and trying to do something else. And I'm like, I don't want to hit up 11 times to get to the thing I was doing in this window. So it's like, it's okay. And then other times I'm like, no, I wanted the ls did over here. Well, I can't just type it. I gotta, and then I have to like look at my history and like,
If you attended that previous talk, you could control R.
oh, I have that one overwritten. I use fuzzy find for that instead.
How did you do? Wait, how did you do that?
That's fuzzy find. That's a whole different thing.
Oh, that was cool.
But
That one is also nice.
Bash, you can just do control R. And you can start.
You can do Control R if you want to like have an uglier version of
I-
fuzzy find.
I've always done like history pipe, grep,
Yeah.
and then find.
Mine is like, let's say that I wanted to, we're getting off topic of Tmux, but
Yeah,
like when I want to do my
sorry.
jump server, I'm like, there's in there somewhere, and I'm like, oh, here we go. That's, and you can pick it from there. You don't have to like hit the correct things in here. You can
And
just
that's
be like,
that's
where did
fuzzy
I do-
finding showing us.
Yeah, FCF, fuzzy find.
So I was about to ask another off-topic question.
All right, so this is my comp file for this. All of this is just to remap to Control A. I have, yeah, this is reload the config file. Oh, so when I was playing around with it, I frequently would edit my comp file, and so I just remapped leader R to just do a reload on that file so that I could try new things. This is mouse mode. This is the one that you need in order to do mouse mode.
Send Gmail.
Yeah, this is split window being remapped. This is I like to start my indexes at 0. Oh, this is another oddity of, I almost never use this. I thought it'd be a good idea when I start. This one I use. This is moving around using Vim. I have it set so that if you use capital in the Vim codes, that it does shifts the windows left and right and up and down. But I just use the mouse if I need to do that. I synchronize panes. So what this is saying is that colon command, it was colon set window option synchronize panes, and I got tired of writing that, so I made it a bind for E.
Ah.
And then
Sure.
So
The
you
reason
just-
mine looks different if you just run Tmux is this is the prettyification of my whole setup, where I picked all my colors and everything, and then my plugins. Yeah, Resurrect allows you to do control save and control reload. Continuum does like I think every 5 minutes or so it like grabs a snapshot of where your windows are, so that if it dies you can come back on. Continuum restore will, when you start up Tmux, does a continuum restore and like saves everything. And then this Tmux mem CPU load is this little thing that I have at the bottom, because I'm often running things that eat up a lot of memory, and I need to just watch what's going on.
Is that for the session itself or for the whole system?
I have it turned on for this for Tmux itself. So like when you load up a session, mine will it's a command somewhere up in here where I'm like running this as status right and colors. But you can just like put the output of a command down here. So this is
You misspelled color.
probably, yeah, it's or did Tmux. Yeah, that's all of them. One item, if you do end up using it and you use TPM, I want to point out that you have to read the docs, unfortunately, for it. I don't like that. Like the thing's just working. When you install it, you have to install the actual things. There's a leader key to do that. It's prefix and Shift-I in order to do an install of whatever you've added in as your plugins, which is a real detriment to any newbies. It's like it's not right up at the top or anything. It's like buried like halfway down this document. Any other questions?
Update too.
Oh, good.
So even though you download it and you put it in its right directory, it doesn't actually get installed until you do the leader I.
Yeah.
Leader cap
Yeah.
I.
So like TPM, you have to like get that working first, and then every plugin you put in doesn't. If you put it in the right directory, it doesn't just auto get installed. You have to tell TPM to install it. Oh, it's
Like
another
we
one I
have
can
to
show
use
you.
with Cisco router. If you don't write it, it's not there on reboot.
Let's do. Got a minute. Yeah. Let's do hard mode Tmux. So new person started on your team, and you want to pair program with them, except you're a Linux tryhard and you use terminal all the time. So first off, I got sick of Tmux loading up whenever I loaded any IDE, so I have it like I have my Z shell actually on this, but my Z shell RC like checks what terminal is actually running, and if we're inside Tmux already, don't run it, and if we're inside anything other than iTerm, don't run Tmux. So I have to actually, I could do like a Tmux attach, and I could jump in here, but the problem is, one, it throws this crap at the bottom because they have to be the same size, and two, I'm now controlling which screen this one is on with this one. Like if I want a pair program, I want the junior on my team to be running his own separate Tmux session. And so the way to do that is Tmux new, and I believe I want the session, we'll call the new session junior.
Could you zoom that in if possible?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be tough. Let's see if that's possible. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to do a session. I'm going to call the session junior, and I'm attaching to the group of default that I have up above. And so now I'm on here, and I do have this noise still, unfortunately. But it should be that if I switch over to monitor, it doesn't switch this session. So like you're still limited to the space, unfortunately. You have to get your friend to do all this. But now anything I'm doing over here can be seen in this, but it doesn't force my mouse over into that section. So you can like pair program using Tmux by both attaching to like the same session with your own dual pieces.
Through the same account.
Yeah. Both have to be able to SSH in the same server. I was going to have like Jace try this, but I don't want to give him credentials on the servers. And so like
I wouldn't
Well, is
either.
it the same server? Can they be different users on the server, or do they have to be the same user?
you can be different users.
Be different
Yeah. So as long as you're in the
So
same,
the
on the
Tmux
same
daemon
server,
handles
yeah.
that.
You both just go into Tmux and you have to log into this. I've done this at work before with like trying to pair program and like show someone like how to do some DevOps stuff or whatever. And it took a while to get it working. And it was like, once it's actually working, it's functional. And you could ask why bother? Like I could have just shared my screen or something, but I'm like, let's just do it this way instead. Because it's cool. But yeah, that's the most complicated thing that I've ever done with this. For the most part, I'm more like
Where'd you get that idea?
from wanting to pair program. Like I was like, oh, I'll just like have this person also join the Tmux session, and I'm like, I guessed how it should be done, and then I had to do tons of Googling to figure out the difference between like the sessions and the groups, and like how you could actually join the session, but join the group but be in your own session. It took a while. And
Okay, so Tmux has the concept of groups.
yeah, groups. I think it's called a group. Let me make sure that
Because you can do that in Screen, but it has to be the same user.
Yeah, so you can see that we're in group default, but this is like this one's attached right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I go over here, I think I'll see the same thing here. This one hasn't attached to it. This one doesn't have somebody attached to it. And then also good luck trying to get back into it because I've only ever had them really join this. Like it's attach and hopefully like T. It should be T. Yeah, it should be T. That's T.
So
Into junior.
can you see the other users' changes live?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I could show you them live by doing Tmux inside Tmux on like one of my servers or something, but it gets like really hairy once you start doing that.
Whoa.
Let me show you that quick. Let's
Let's do it.
Yeah.
screw it. Let's SSH. I'll just show you what it looks like doing Tmux inside Tmux. So here I am nested. The number one problem you're going to run into here is how do you get your leader key to the outside or the inside? And actually, very helpfully, if you look at this little asterisk down at the bottom, when I hit my leader key, I make it light up. And so I have it
to leader key a second time.
So I have here in my count file that if you hit leader, it'll send Control A to the terminal because I sometimes use Control A to go to the beginning of the line. And so I need to hit like Control A in order to get to the beginning of the line. Whereas if I'm inside the Tmux session that's nested in another Tmux session, Control A is the line in here, like kill session. But if I want to go to the beginning of this line, I have to hit Control A. Yeah, it gets insane. It's
You know, you could fix that by just going back to Control B.
we could. You know how I fixed it? I only use Control E. So I usually use Control A to delete the whole line, Control A and then K in order to go to the beginning and kill the line. So I switched to Control E, Control U, which is go to the end of the line and erase backwards.
What's wrong with Control V again?
I don't like it.
Muscle memory, right?
Yeah, it's muscle memory.
It's muscle memory.
Also, Control A, Control K.
Control A, Control K is go to the beginning of the line and then delete all the stuff. Let me make sure this is correct. Let's double check.
That's Emacs though, right? That's
Oh
Emacs,
yeah.
right?
This is Emacs.
A lot of
Okay.
Unix stuff is throughout a lot of.
Yeah,
So
back,
you
it's
fill an
bash.
entire line of text either by AK or E.
Yeah. So if you AK, so I'm holding Control the whole time, or you do
I'm making
EU will also delete the
E
text.
will kill things except like
AK 47 or
or the
European
EU,
Union
European Union
will kill the
will
line.
kill the whole line. Got it.
One kills from the front, one kills from the back. All right. Anything else?
Another question. So let's say that you are in your normal terminal emulator.
Yeah.
And you are in your home directory.
Yeah.
If you do Tmux, like if the simplest command to get on Tmux, where are you? Are you still in that?
I think in the same directory you're currently in. Let's move my Tmux file. That's going to be my Tmux file is actually a symlink. That'll still work. Move.tmux.conf to conf.back. And then let's do Tmux. What do we have? We've got to delete some of these in order to actually do anything. Oh, maybe not. To T to join in two defaults. And then let's kill this session. Let's attach. Oops. And then let's try Tmux. I want new. We'll do a new session. Okay. This is what Tmux looks like by default, without all of my fancy stuff going on. And if we make a couple new ones here, B. Control B. So watch people online can't see. Control B for me takes two hands to do. Like Control A is I can do that with one hand, and then most of the other stuff I do is on my right hand. Like C and comma. I mean, I could do that. Yes, I don't want to though. It's all right here. It's like I don't have to move my hand off of like the keys in order to hit this. And control, not on this computer, but on my computer at work.
Control me really loud.
Control is caps lock for me too. So it's like Control A is like right here. Yeah. So yeah, but by default, you can see part of the problems on a lot of this is first off, the mouse doesn't work, and I think I have to do like we're going to find out what. So weirdly, I would think it'd be the other way around. Double quote, which I think of being two vertical things, does a horizontal split, and then percent does a vertical split by default. But it's like the mouse isn't enabled by default, so it's like lacking some things here. It's got a bunch of stuff I don't care about down here. These are not highlighted. There's a little asterisk that it puts next to the one that you happen to be on, and a minus next to the one that will go back.
Well, it's like in the middle of your keyboard and percent signs at like the top.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe that's why they're doing it.
I don't know.
I don't like it. I switched it. And so screen, it's the other way around. Screen is a pipe in order to do a split left to right.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So I just make it be screen.
With all these like keybind stuff, I just feel like I could do a mistake and then delete everything.
That is a legitimate problem.
Like, aren't
yes.
you? Did you have that fear? Like when you're like,
Well, not that fear. It's more like, okay, I want to log into a new machine or something. Now what do I do? So I keep all of my dot files in a directory that is a private GitHub repo, and I load that onto my machine, and I use stow in order to move all of these configuration files into my home directory and like symlink all of them, so that I keep them all up to date. For online, I have an SSH command that logs you in and brings some key files in your home directory with it, and like puts them on the remote server you log into. Spend a lot of time automating stuff.
Wow.
It because I got the same thing, but in a different
But it just
way,
got
a
annoyed
completely
at you.
different way.
yeah,
It's annoying.
I have a
guess there's no right way of doing
But there is. It's my one.
it.
Yeah. Anything else?
questions online.
No. So even
Okay.
though I showed a lot, you only need like 5 commands to use Tmux. Like I think just the new windows and renaming them and new panes is extremely
Yeah.
useful. Just going from there, and then turning the mouse on is also pretty useful, just so you don't have to like learn how to like navigate around as much.
Yeah, that seems to me as a screen user to be
Yeah.
the killer app.
Yeah.
bit of it.
This is it's just set-G mouse on,
Yeah.
which probably has like a colon command as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what else I use? Leader left bracket saves my butt.
There's there are a couple other ones. Let's do
I don't know a good example.
so.
Yeah, what is left bracket?
So it's non. It's like
It's
scroll
copy mode. I think is left bracket, right?
back. Isn't it? I thought it was just scroll back. I just use it to scroll back.
I think it's the same thing. It's an Emacs thing.
If it's similar to screen, it is the buffer.
Oh, yeah. the
Take a look.
box.
Actually, I opened up
So you can copy.
I opened up a cheat sheet here. Actually.
Yeah, you can go up and look at it and then copy it also.
Let's see if
So
it's in there.
both of you are right.
I thought that was like
Copy.
Control A,
Yeah.
escape, and screen or something.
Yeah, it's buffer. It's the Emacs mode stuff. I don't really do any of the stuff with this.
Never used Emacs.
Enter copy mode and paste from buffer. I didn't either, but I didn't think I used Emacs. But then I discovered that most of the commands are just the normal, like defaults, unless you set ops.
I thought
bin mode.
Emacs. Well, Emacs is a text editor. I guess this is just borrowing some keybinds. Okay.
It's probably borrowing it through Bash. Like Bash has Emacs mode turned on by default for its key command. Then this is just using whatever Bash has.
Well, I think the readlines library uses Bash bindings or Emacs bindings by default, and then that's readline library used in just tons and tons of tools. And so yeah, you end up using Emacs. Even people don't use Emacs bindings everywhere.
Right.
I've encountered
Wait,
people
so they're
that
using Emacs
Emacs
bindings
isn't a
all the
text
time?
editor, it's a web
Because it's read line, like you're saying.
There's a library called readline that gives you all the things you do in Bash, like jump into the beginning of the line, editing, line editing, and it's used in all sorts of tools, including Bash. And so, yeah, they all, it's made by, it's
Canoe.
Canoe or New, I don't know.
It's Canoe, yeah.
It's made by them, and they also make Emacs, and so they just have consistent key bindings for all their tools. It's just most people don't use Emacs, but they use all the other tools.
As you can see, mine's way prettier than the normal.
Yeah. I agree.
All right. And I'm also like, I don't really need to like show any of this either, because I'm 100% certain I stole like half of this from one guy's dot files and half from another guy's, and like edited 3 things somewhere along the way. I don't know. This is a very old file.
How long would you say you've been using Tmux?
10 years?
10 years?
Thereabouts. I'm trying to think of like how long ago I had to start doing a lot of like logging into servers. Might be 15. It was while I was still at GE. And I started using it.
Okay. Because it's funny. So about 20 years ago in this very group, I gave a presentation on screen.
Mhm.
And at the time I'd finished giving the presentation and was like, so isn't this a great thing? And there was one guy in the audience that was looking at me with this confused look, and he was asking essentially what you just asked. I thought Screen was a terminal emulator. And I was like, it is, because you can attach with Screen, you can attach to a serial console. And so my question was going to be, does Tmux connect to a serial console?
Let's find out.
No.
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Well, then
If I remember correctly, the guy said he didn't want to support it.
then that's yeah. It would be a good reason not to have it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like the Reddit.
You could use
responses are,
Minicom.
Use something else.
Yeah.
What you want to do isn't something you should want to do.
Yeah. Because the thing is that Minicom, which is what I was using up to that point, the leader is Control A.
Screen, because we had a long running process that we didn't want to like log out and lose, and we also had like a monitoring process, and I didn't want to open up 2 terminals.
Yeah.
So we used Screen for a while, and I was like, could I please just use the mouse? Like, and I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. Like, it's 2009. Could we do this better? And so yeah, that was around that time is when I was like started getting into Tmux.
Tmux.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What distro were you all using around that time?
At the
20 years ago?
probably still
Mine
did.
was a custom install of Yocto Linux that GE was using for their Predix application.
Yocto?
Yocto, yeah. I think that might have come later. It might have just been like plain old Debian at the time. And then a couple Alpines later on, Alpine Linux and BusyBox like later on after that. I tell you, it's like all these weird things that they want to run. And
I was on some SUSE Linux, not OpenSUSE, not SUSE Enterprise, just SUSE. The SUSE desktop back in like 05, 06.
I know they used to sell like discs.
Yeah.
I'm not, well, I was a little kid by that time, but I do know that. I'm 26 now.
You good?
yeah, if no one's got questions, I'm all set.
All right. Well, no one else have any questions? Anyone online questions? If not, then hi, new guy. Yeah, I don't guess you have any questions, right?
It was good. I have lots of questions, whatever, but I'm not gonna ask all of them.
That's all right.
Just to see what-
All right. So I will give my presentation, and this will be on oh, that's the wrong screen. What did I say I was going to talk about? Mask.
Hey, Jace.
10,
Yes, sir.
15 minutes left of recording.
Your session's going to end in about 10 minutes, so
Okay.
let me stop streaming and then restart streaming for Miles.
That sounds good. All right. To be continued.